In last video, we have discussed about Mercury in the 7th house of the horoscope. In this video, we are going to dive deep into the Mars in the 7th house of the horoscope. So keep watching. Namaste and welcome to Pramanik Astrology channel. If you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. You'll be getting Vedic astrological videos just like this one, and these videos will help you go further faster into Vedic astrological studies. These videos will help you raise your vibrations. If you're looking for readings and consultations, check out the link into the description section and go for the intensive horoscope analysis. If you have any question, you can comment on the YouTube video, relevant YouTube videos. I read all the comments and I try to reply to almost all the comments. If you have any question regarding the reading, you can DM me on Instagram. Today we are going to talk about Mars in the 7th house of the horoscope. What is Mars? The first thing which comes to my mind when I think of Mars is energy and strength. This strength can be physical strength, can be emotional strength. Mars is an independent planet. It shows energy, strength, competition, blood, war. It also shows your entrepreneurial capabilities, your business capabilities, the strength and energy to initiate things. In the Kalpurush Kundali, Mars rules the first house, the life force, which is the fire element. Mars represents that fire element. In Kalpurush Kundali, it rules the first house and the 8th house. So life and death is ruled by Mars. 7th house is primarily the house of relationship. It is also the signification for the other people. It also signifies the western horizon. It is all about the other people. It is the house of marriage. It is also the house of career because it is 10th from the 10th. It is also the house of your nourishment as it is 4th from the 4th. And from the 7th house, Mars aspects. By the way, Mars has spatial aspects. Let me tell you, first of all, Mars has 3 spatial aspects. The normal aspect of the 7th house, like from the 7th house, Mars will aspect the ascendant. Then Mars has another spatial aspect which Mars can see 4 places away from where it is placed. When it is placed into the 7th house of the horoscope, it can see the 4th house. And what is the 4th from the 7th? 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. So from 7th house, Mars not only aspects the ascendant, but it also aspects the 10th house of your horoscope with its 4th aspect. Mars also has another special aspect of the 8th house. From wherever Mars is placed in, it can also look at the 8th house. So 8th house from the 7th house is the 2nd house. Okay, and how did we arrive to the 2nd house? Just count 8 places from the 7th house. So 7th house, we have to count that house. 7th house, 8th house, 9th house, 10th house, 11th house, 12th house, and ascendant. These are the 7 houses, and then the 2nd house becomes the 8th house. So Mars will also aspect the 2nd house from the 7th house. It has its own impact on these houses. We'll talk about these aspects later in the video. We're talking about Mars in the 7th house. When you have Mars in the 7th house of your horoscope, it also makes a Ruchak Yoga. What is Ruchak Yoga? Ruchak Yoga is one of the Panch Mahapurush Yoga. If you have not watched my Panch Mahapurush Yoga video, go watch that video as well, wherein we have discussed about the Ruchak Yoga. Ruchak Yoga is when Mars is in the 1st, 4th, 7th or 10th house of your horoscope and it is in its own Rashi or the exalted Rashi. So what is the own Rashi of the Mars? Aries and Scorpio are ruled by Mars. And what is the sign of exaltation for the Mars? Mars is exalted into the sign of Capricorn. Yes, it is ruled by Saturn, yet Mars gets exalted into the sign of Capricorn. So when you have Mars in the 7th house, we are talking about 7th house, that's why I'm talking about the placement of Mars with respect to the 7th house. When you have Mars in the 7th house and in the Rashi Aries, Scorpio or Capricorn, it 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 creates the Ruchak Yoga. So you also have to look out for that. The planet of independence is coming into the house of relationship. This kind of upsets and frustrates Mars. That's why you will always hear about Mars in the 7th house as a relationship breaker, but that is not always the case. Now you know the challenges. Now you can work upon this. Take this as a diagnosis and then you can start working upon them to your benefit. Okay, so anyone who has Mars in the 7th house is an independent person. He doesn't like to a committed relationship, and 7th house is about committed relationship of marriage. 7th house is the house of travel, and Mars is the planet of independence. So these people travel a lot, and these travel may be for their work purpose because it is 10th from the 10th and the house of travel. So very much the work related travel can also be seen with the 7th house Mars. 7th house is about the interactions, and Mars is an energetic planet. So there can be aggressive interactions with the other people. Like people with the 7th house Mars, the other person or the other people or the rest of the people might think that this person is aggressive. Because from 7th house, it is placed in the 7th house and it is also aspecting the ascendant. So these people have to control their anger. They are highly energetic and interactions with the other people need to be handled with caution. 7th house is the house of the business, trade and commerce. And what is Mars? Mars is an initiator. Mars is the planet of initiation. Like our ascendant starts with the Mars. All the ascendants, all the signs starts with the Aries, which is ruled by Mars, which is fire element, which is life. So anything which needs to be initiated, Mars is the best person to get the work done. So these people, the person with the Mars in the 7th house is very good at starting new businesses or starting new ventures because they have that enthusiasm and the energy. 7th house is the house of relationship. Though these people are not inclined towards the committed relationship, but here's the one quality of Mars. Mars is energy, as we know. So this makes a person passionate. Passion can also be seen from the Mars, and when you have the planet of passion in the house of marriage, so these people have one of the most passionate relationships. Whether they will succeed or not, that's a different story altogether. That depends on lot many factors, like which dasha they are running, what is the condition of the Mars, which Rashi Mars is placed in. But these are extremely passionate people. They have the energy, and now that energy is into the 7th house of relationships. Okay, 7th house is the house of your spouse, and Mars is the planet of energy. So these people put in a lot of effort into energy. They put in a lot of effort into relationship. Whenever it comes to take an extra mile to work for the relationship, these people are ready to take that. The only thing they have to take care of is their anger, because 7th house cannot handle the Mars anger, because it is not the place for the Mars to be in ideally with respect to the relationship. Okay, what is Mars? Mars is a soldier, so he likes to go out and conquer. But relationships are all about surrendering to the partner. That's why Venus does great job in 7th house, or Mercury or Moon, the feminine planets work well in the 7th house. If you have not watched my Mangalik Dosha video, I highly recommend you go and watch the Mangalik Dosha video, wherein we have decoded all the significations of the Mars and what are the effects of all the Mangalik positions of the Mars. So you don't have to fear the Mangalik dosha, you have to rise above it. Take it as a diagnosis, like, okay, these are the things I have to work on, and start working on them, start to improve them. I always believe that your response has the power to change the situation. Your response to any situation has the power to change the situation. Your response to any situation has the power to change the situation. So always respond to any situation with pure consciousness. You will hear a lot of things about Mars in the 7th house. That Mars is this, Mars is that. But if you look at the name of the word Mangal, the name for the Mars is Mangal. And what is the meaning of the word Mangal? Mangal is auspicious. Mangal is good. The word Mangal itself means good. It is just that it is a cruel planet. So it has a very harsh way to teach you. Now let us talk about the aspects of Mars. Mars will aspect the 10th house, ascendant, and 2nd house from the 7th house with its special aspects. By the way, Mars loves to be associated with the 10th house because that really resonates with the martial qualities, like going out in the public, proving themselves, making an impact in the public, to conquer something, to achieve something, to work for the tangible things is what 10th house is all about. Mars loves to associate himself with the 10th house. Now from the 7th house, it is aspecting the 10th house of the horoscope. Now this will boost and energize the 10th house, and their spouse will help them to get the success in the career as well as get the status. We're talking about Mars aspecting the 10th house. Now Mars is aspecting the 1st house of your horoscope. Mars is the planet of energy, and 1st house is the house of your personality. This makes person energetic, and this makes person take initiative in life. The orientation and perspective of the life the person will have is very energetic. He is ready to start anything. He loves to start new things because he has the energy. We always say that will backed by energy. So the person with the Mars in the 1st house or the 7th house has the will backed by energy. Now they can start new things. From 7th house, Mars also aspects the 8th house of the horoscope. With the 8th aspects the 2nd house of the horoscope. What is 2nd house? 2nd house is about the things which you value. And now Mars is energizing the 2nd house from the 7th house. 7th house is the house of marriage, and 2nd house is the house of finances. So a person might have to invest a lot of money in their marriage, maybe for good or maybe for some other reason, but they have to invest money in their marriage. Okay, so yes, this was Mars as much as I could hold, grasp, and share with you guys. But if you are just starting into Vedic astrology, go and watch my how to get started into Vedic astrological videos, or the other playlist I have is rising signs, all the 12 rising signs, or you can go and watch the effects of retrograde planets. I highly recommend these 3 playlists. Okay, sending you tons of positive energy, sending you high vibrations. See you in the next videos. Love and peace.